This is Robert C. Morgan. I'm a critic and artist, and I guess sometimes a curator and art historian. I'm with a very important artist that I have followed for a number of years. He is Hiroyuki Hamada. Now, I hear a lot of artists talk about materials and so forth, and one of the things that struck me, Hiroyuki, is the advanced idea of materiality.
The material, how they interact and manifest themselves are pretty much everything. Everything counts, all the materials, everything we see are part of everything, and we can't disregard certain things.
Having said that, do you have some idea of the kind of form that you're interested in pursuing before or during or after or all three?
Well, with the sculptures, the process of coming up with basic something, the starting point is there. Before I actually work on the material, I draw a lot and something starts to emerge. And this process that comes before the actual sculpture making is very similar to making paintings.
This idea of moving toward the construct is very interesting to me. And I have to say, relative to your paintings, it makes so much sense seeing these in relation to your sculpture.
My sculptures came out of paintings. They sort of grew out of the wall. I was interested in object-like quality of the paintings, and then I was interested in texture and those things, as opposed to sort of like a window of illusionistic happening within it. When we stand back from this making process and try to analyze, there are distinctions, definite distinction between what we call painting and sculptures.
Sure.
But in the process of making, to me at least, they really merge together. And just like, in nature we have a plain or field would meet forest. And in that area, there are particular habitats created by the condition. And I think the similar thing happened between painting and sculptures. In order to come to that point, I sort of relied on this sort of painting process. So there's again, illusionistic quality to suggest certain things on two-dimensional surface, and that's combined with the three-dimensional presence.
Yeah, you've mentioned illusion 2 or 3 times now, and again, I would say that that's a very Western idea. And that leads me to the question is, do you feel that you are borrowing anything from your own heritage, or are you completely innovated with the Western point of view?
I was born in Japan. Japan was already incorporated into the Western hegemony. And with the capitalist framework and ideas of Western culture was permeating. But the interesting thing is that aesthetic environment was definitely different, I guess, because I grew up in where I can go to be exposed to shrines or Japanese type structures or the culture itself. And I met this art teacher, and that was the first experience I really saw art in practice, what art can do. I didn't really grow up in an environment where art was around, so I didn't even know that art can do what music could do, literature could do. The lines would have effect on me. They can actually speak better than me trying to speak English.
Where do you feel you're going at this point in terms of your thoughts about your work?
I've been thinking about how I place myself in the whole thing as a person.
When you say the whole thing?
Our society, how art is relating to it, the social structure we have, which is very feudalistic. It's very hierarchical. And art, on the other hand, is means to connect ourselves to humanity, what we call humanity, whatever we perceive it as humanity, and hopefully that goes beyond what we perceive as society. So it's an interesting situation for artists who we are all within this framework. We are all products of what it is. But at the same time, we also have the understanding of where we are going as a species. And so the role of artists to see it objectively and share the perception is extremely important.
I like very much the fact that there is, a lot of space, because I think that one of the things that is often lacking in exhibitions is a clear understanding of the space in relation to the work.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I think having 3 of these down here and 2 up there is great, honestly. So, and I would say that this space of Stephen Hall is absolutely perfect for your work.
But what I see and feel in the work is the concepts, deep concepts of wabi-sabi, of Japanese wabi-sabi. The sabi is the darkness, the wabi is the way that the thing can weather forever and look better in time. And when I think of the work, I think of the 1933 book, In Praise of Shadows, by Tanizaki, which was a book about subtleties and nuances. These paintings are made of charcoal and wood and paper, and they have a kind of mystery that I can't really explain. And when I look at them, I feel there's something going on here, and I think one of the reasons he doesn't title these works is they can speak to anyone in any language at any age. Maybe that's the mysterious power of the work.
My idea of what I'm doing is that it's the culmination of my understanding of my surrounding. It's somehow resonate with our whole being. And I just use the word expression to say that I'm talking about that. But again, it comes back to what we're talking about, the society being feudalistic, and we have certain ideas officially, and certain idea that's more grounded to the reality, and we have difficulty talking about. It's a very interesting time because we even have hard time talking about art because of this double talk situation.
A moment ago you were talking about the whole thing, and part of that is how art relates to humanity, okay? This is a term that you use, which I like that term very much, okay? I don't hear enough of it, but I like hearing it. And I think that for us to exceed or get beyond this feudal process of thinking, and that's where it begins, of course, we have to get back to that inauguration, that presentation of humanity as central to our work.
Right. I mean, the process of making itself is very, very rooted in this condition. The fact that everything has its meaning and we perceive. And I, as a person who's looking at these things and managing these things, I have to be able to see the dynamics that's creating the harmony within it. And
within the work.
Right. I mean, this process has to be very, very honest. I have to really, really respond to the essence of each element. But in real society, we have certain emphasis. Certain things are more valuable, other things are not valuable. And this is the root of propping up the feudal society, because we have this mentality to prop up something that's important. That's, if it's attached to money, if it's attached to the power structure, that's more important. But when we walk in the studio, we face the elements. It's an honest process.
One of the aspects of this conversation with you this afternoon is the fact that you are fearless in terms of your openness, and at the same time you're extremely discreet and elegant in terms of how you present yourself. And I'm very taken by that. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed the conversation. I mean, from my end.
Thank you so much.
And how much I've learned, okay, in the process. And it's a pleasure to be here with you, okay? I've seen many shows here, but this is something, you're an artist that I did not know other than through your work, So now the work and the artist come together, and that's the best of all possible worlds.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Okay, it's a pleasure.